Welcome to the Screen Rot Podcast, the podcast where we discuss the weirdest and worst content that's been rotting our screens and indeed our minds. And I'm here with Jake Farrell.
Glad to be here. Pleasure to be here. Beautiful Sunday morning.
It's nice, isn't it?
We're rocking and rolling. Oh,
and this
no.
has come through the door.
Everything was going so well. And now Jacob is going to talk. For those of you listening rather than watching, Jacob just held up a piece of electioneering that's been put through his door by the Labour Party.
Just got this through the door. This is the Vote Labour for Islington North. Pray for Nargans.
Your constituency is a big issue constituency, and that is because...
That's Corbyn territory.
Corbyn land, Corbyn territory.
I see him all the fucking time.
Yeah?
All the time. And I saw, you know, because has he been sacked now? I don't really get it. Is he not allowed?
He's been prevented from standing as part of the Labour Party, yeah.
Yeah, he's out. But even when he was in, mate, he was just pottering around all the time. And I'd chat to him.
Do you reckon Jez is doing a podcast somewhere going, I see Jacob Hawley all the time?
I would chat to him. I'd see him about and I'd say, all right, Corbyn. And I'd go, all right. And I'd bring up local stuff. I'd be like, bins weren't taken out last week. I'd say, fucking pothole over there, mate. Oh, that's going to do my tyres. What's going on?
Fair enough.
Or I'd say to him, mate, this does my nut. It's always around March time. You get so many roadworks. It's because what they do, they wait till the end of the budget and then they spunk whatever's left in the budget on roadwork.
Right.
So around March, I'm like, mate, you can't drive. You can't get around. And he'd always be like, right, well, you know, we'll have someone look into that for you. Thank you. And he'd just want to get away.
You're listening to Jacob and Jake on GB News, leading Britain's conversation.
No, look, whatever you think of the man, he didn't want to talk to me. I'll tell you that. He did not want to talk to me.
Do you know how many people Jacob says that about every week? Whatever you think about the man, he did not want to talk to me. He says that about me, I think, as well. But Jez, so Jez is, but he's still, like you were saying, you think he might still win around. He's still beloved, no?
Yeah, well, mate, I got his little fucking pamphlet through the door the other day.
Yeah. And
I'll tell you what, he's missing the graphic designers from later.
I was going to say,
mate, I honestly thought it was the takeaway menu. I thought it was for an Indian restaurant. Like, he's got the font of an Indian restaurant and like the colours, the kind of like it's got like the kind of like vague kind
Comic
of like
Sans.
Yeah, and it's almost like kind of like that, like sort of tonal brown in the background, little bit golden, then red in the foreground.
Jez, you've done the website address in Windings.
And he's got like quotes about him in the back, but it's written like the set menu options. Do you know what I mean? Like set menu 1, set menu 2, set menu 3, set menu 4. It probably looks like that. But I mean, yeah, look, it's all kicking off. Are you GE ready?
I've been ignoring it as much as is humanly possible. I will continue to do so. I think that Rishi bringing this into a Euros summer is frankly...
What a bastard.
Yeah,
doing
we
that.
Had that to look forward to. Happy Harry Kane, Big Jude, Tiny Phil. That was all I wanted to think about. And now I'm going to have 6 weeks of Novara media people arguing with men from Kent on Twitter like it means anything, like any of it means anything. And then at the end of it, probably a much closer election than we think, because we are effectively a one-party country, and that party is the Conservative Party.
Mate, I reckon it's gonna be well. I might even stick a score on Tories winning it.
Because
I think they might, you know.
Yeah, like a Tories Trump double. I might put all the savings on that. We were talking about crypto last episode. I think that's probably a safer bet.
Imagine like we stick like 20 quid on that and win like, I don't know, like 140 quid, and we're like David Luizing around our living rooms whilst our future's completely fucking doomed.
Country goes into and this is a message for and I think the Rotters are on board with this, but if you're not like these people, this is a message to people I know that might be listening. I don't care. I don't want to talk about it. I don't care about your opinion about it. You know fuck all about it. Just because you listen to the Alistair Campbell podcast, you don't know anything. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. Alistair Campbell's daughter, Grace Campbell, shut the fuck up. Nish Kumar, shut the fuck up. I don't want to listen to any of it. Shut up. Block Party, just a band.
It is the worst smoking area chat of all time.
It's exhausting.
I've been hit by a couple of like I've been drunk with people recently, and they've gone, you know what? I don't even think I can vote for Labour this time. And they expect you to be like, what? But surely you have to. And I just go, yeah. I don't care. I couldn't fucking. My missus, bless her heart. So my missus has barely been out since our second kid's born. Right? She's had a few nights out, but not many. She used to live Oh God, can I talk about this? Yeah, probably. She used to live with a lady called Decca Aikenhead. No, this is all right.
Is it? Okay.
It's my head on the fucking chopping board. My missus used to live with this woman called Decca, who at the time was like the head interviewer for the Guardian and now works for the Times.
Right.
It's like this like lovely woman who very high up position in journalism, basically.
Very well respected journalist.
Yeah, my missus used to live with her. She like rented in her house with her family. Lovely family. Anyway. This woman Decca, she's great, really good fun, but she's proper like almost old school journalist of like always in the Groucho, loves a drink, parties with politicians. Do you know what I mean?
The good old days.
Yeah, and like she's got 2 boys, and like they like chat to Usain Bolt on FaceTime and shit. Like proper old school like journalism perks. Now she messaged me and my missus. We were on holiday at the time. I didn't even know the fucking GE was happening. We were on holiday at the time. She's like, 4th of July, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm not coming to some fucking Yank party. That's what I thought it was. I was like
Independence Day.
Yeah. And she was like, you've got to come to my house. We're doing an election special all-nighter. We're going to have different screens in different rooms. And she was like, because obviously she's got like poor journalists coming. She's like, we're going to have one room for people who like the statistical side of things. We're going to have one room that's more light-hearted. You have to come. And like, me and my missus are there. And my missus doesn't know anything about politics or like what these people are like.
She's normal. She's good.
Yeah, but she just wants a night out. So she's like, oh my God, babe, I'd love to go. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like working ahead of her. It's like chess. I'm like 2 steps ahead. She's like, but only one of us will be able to go. And I'm like, and she's like, because one of us will have to stay home and look after the kids, won't they? And I'm like, darling, you go. She's like, babe, can I? I was like, you go. And you,
Don't worry,
you can
darling.
go in the different room for the statistics. One room that's focused on the polls. Yeah. And there's a breakout room that's going to have snacks. And you go. And it's only...
You might be able to get to meet Polly Toynbee.
Yeah, it's only since we've made these arrangements that I've been like, you're going to have the fucking worst night of your life. These coked up middle-aged journos be like...
Early results are in from Sunderland.
Yeah. Do you know what? Maybe it is time that the grown-ups took over.
Here I am, stuck in the middle, looking for a centrist party to look after me. Shut the fuck up.
My missus doesn't understand any of it. She was like, what's going to happen? I was like, well, they'll get the poll results first. And she was like, what's that? And I was like, you're so fucked. And I was like, you know what's going to happen? I was like, one of them's going to end up writing a piece on you.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they're going to be like, you know what? I think this clueless girl from the west of Ireland who doesn't even know who Starmer is, she might be the future of Britain.
Rory Stewart, come over here.
Yeah, I've got the kids to sleep. I'm sat there with an Indian. I've got fucking brass eye on from 20 years ago. Feet up, eyeing up a tug in the next 10 minutes. Go, have a good one, darling. Remember the brownie points.
Sorry, Deck, I can't make it. I'm doing a shift at the puppy killing factory. It'll be much more fun, your fucking party,
when
love.
When I'm creeping in after the first day of the Premier League season, when I'm creeping in at 6 in the morning, geared off my fucking nut.
That's one each. You've got to go to the general election party. Thanks for playing.
All right, let's get into this. So this week, I mean, look, we just ended up talking about kind of nights out there. This week we've got someone who's on the hunt for a night out.
It's fair to say he's on the hunt for a night out. Yeah, that's a good link.
Yeah.
This person, you might have seen him in the news. He's kind of like a kind of bizarro world hardest geezer. He's doing a different version of the hardest geezer challenge. He is the lad that's walking from Manchester to Ibiza. And this week we're talking about him. His name is Henry Oscar Moores. Oi. Get on this.
Yes, please.
Henry Oscar Moores
Yeah.
is the beautiful passion of youth and the desperation for the sesh distilled into one Instagram-friendly lunatic.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yes.
Like, he is so young in so many ways.
Yeah. This
And
and also, you know how you get kids? Like, there are some 19-year-olds who look 35.
Yes.
Yeah. He looks 12.
He looks 12.
This boy.
At one point, I was like, I don't know that we can talk about him because I was like, I don't know how I feel kind of talking about a child.
He's 21.
And he's 21. Yeah, he's been a plasterer for 4 years.
But he's a boy.
He's a boy. And if you don't know, just a quick bit of table setting, quick bit of background. Henry Oscar Moores is a plasterer, 21. He's from Macclesfield near Manchester, and he kind of went viral early in the year because he started talking to him online about how he was too skint to go to Ibiza and too skint to go to Ocean Beach this summer because of the price of flights. And he did a video where he said, I'd walk there if I could. And it got picked up by, as you might expect, owner of Ocean Beach and complete lunatic and brother of Gary Lineker, insanely, Wayne Lineker.
Gary Lineker's evil twin.
Gary Lineker's evil twin, yeah.
The alternative universe where rather than being a sort of affable host of Match of the Day, he becomes the sesh legend of Ibiza, the creepiest fucking pensioner you've ever seen.
Got more Botox in him than half of LA.
Oh, I've had me fade. I've had my fringe lined up. I've got a new sleeve tattoo. You want to walk to Ibiza, dear son? Come with me.
And so Henry Oscar Moores went viral for this. And as a bit of extra context, I did a bit of research. And talking about journalism, right? We just talked about journalism in the intro and like the good old days where Decker Aitkenhead would get paid like 15 grand to fly to Barbados to interview Michael Caine about his new film or whatever.
I think that might still be happening.
Yeah. I read an article last night by a journalist that was the story of Henry Oscar Moores for the Daily Mirror.
No way.
And was clearly like, it was like SEO maximization where it's like the 21-year-old Ibiza, Manchester, and it's like just to drive people like me who's like, who the fuck is this guy? And I looked up this person, this journalist, and they went to Oxford. And just imagine... just writing this story. Henry Oscar Moores, the 21-year-old plasterer from Macclesfield, you're sat there with a fucking degree in PPE, being like, for fuck's sake. So this kid, he's been looking for it for a while. To be fair, he walked from Macclesfield to Paris last year for charity.
What is it, Gen Z and these fucking challenges? Yeah. What is going on, man?
Have a day off.
The fucking legacy of Russ.
Yeah.
What is going on? We should say, by the way, we did an episode on the hardest geezer. The reels from it have had more traction than any others and more fucking hate.
Yeah.
People love this guy.
Yeah.
People love this fucking weirdo. And he's a prick. Let me say right now, he's a prick. Going for little fucking jogs with Rishi Sunak, you little Tory arse licker. Fuck off.
That's the funny thing, isn't it? Like, I think people have been basically kind of made problematic for much less. I mean, like the second day he was back, he's wandering around with Rishi going, do you like Reddit then? And Rishi's like, yeah, actually I do. Actually do get quite into it. It's like,
hardest geezer. Come on, let's get on the bloody...
Yeah. And so it's like, it's funny the amount of like love for him. And like the kind of, he went on the Diary of the CEO then, he's talking to that Stephen Bartlett geezer, just crying about like, I don't like my dad, or like, and it's like...
Fuck off, no one does, that's the point. Why should we be doing podcasts?
Just crying. And Stephen Bartlett can barely like contain his boner for how much fuel he's going to set off the back of this. Just under the Stephen Bartlett's side of the table is like a foot higher than Russ's side because of his fucking stalk that is... Anyway,
so basically he set the trend. Well, I don't even know if he did set the trend. For some reason, we mentioned this in the Hardest Geezer episode. The Hardest Geezer had done loads of fucking mad challenges before he ran the length of Africa.
You know how they say that like if someone exposes themselves to a woman in the park or whatever, it's a very good signal that they're going to do like very much more detailed crimes, serious crimes.
When you get kids that like torture ants in the garden, they're going to end up killing someone when they're older.
If you walk from Macclesfield to Paris, you're going to end up going viral for doing something insane. You should be put on a register at that point with the Hardest Geezer, so you can never do the entire length of Africa.
Yeah,
but that's what Henry Oscar Moores did. He did this Paris to Macclesfield thing, and then
why did he do that?
I think that was just like in the way that we've said before. Like people are just looking for it, aren't they? People are just desperate.
But that's the thing. They all do this shit as if someone's got a gun to their head.
Yeah, right.
We've said this in the past of like you know when Davis Clark is like I need to tell you guys something. It's like, no, you don't need to do anything. And it's like the same with us. It's like, fucking hell, I just need to get through Africa. No, you don't. Go home, get a job.
It's fine.
Like, but this guy, why are you walking?
Well, and this is the funny thing. He's clearly a master kind of marketer, right? Because obviously...
Well, this boy,
because as everyone has pointed out, he said, I'm skint, I can't afford a flight. Flight to Ibiza might be a couple of £100, right?
Max.
So, fair enough. Cost he lives and all of that stuff. He's taken now 3 months off work to walk there. So every comment on these videos is like, you fucking taken 3 months off work. If you just worked, you could have saved up and gone. And so it's like...
Also, he's paying for hotels on the way?
Yeah, well, this is it. So he isn't. So how it's worked, and we're going to look at it, is he went viral for this plea. He's so desperate to go to Ibiza that he's put out like a plea, like someone that's being held by ISIS.
Let me go to Ibiza. I just want to meet Wayno. I need to get to Ushuaia, please. It's so fucking Kevin and Perry, isn't it? It's like this would be an episode of Kevin and Perry.
Yeah.
This would literally be, I just want to get on the sesh. How do we get there? Mum's a bitch. She won't pay for the flights. I need to go. Let's just walk.
And this really reminded me.
You can't go to Ibiza. Go somewhere else.
It really reminded me of the funniest man on the internet, friend of the show, Andrew Kerr, does a really, who I don't know personally, but I just love watching his stuff online. He does the really funny character where he's like, oh, absolute piss take last night.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is it. It's like, get me to... What happened last night?
Need a Nando's ASAP. What time does it open?
And it's like that bloke, but being like, oh, get me to Old Beach right now. I need to be at Old Beach.
It's like this whiny kind of like, how do I get to Ibiza this summer? Fucking
and
hell.
it is this
Go
white...
somewhere else. Go to fucking Falaraki. Go to Magaluf. Go to the cheap ones. Go to Sunny Beach in Bulgaria.
So desperate for the sesh, and it's like as we'll see in the videos in a minute, not much joy in it. It's a lot of just like, oh, my knees, I need to get there now. But anyway, how he did it was, Wayno got involved, obviously, as a promotional vehicle for Ocean Beach, which is this mad club.
Well,
thing,
yeah, that's your theory on Wayno. I've got my own theory.
Yeah, well, and then they've teamed up with this vodka brand. So he's being sponsored by a vodka brand called AU Vodka, of which Charlie Sloth is involved as well. And this is the video of them announcing that Henry Oscar Moores was going to get sponsored to walk from Manchester to Ibiza.
It's like motivational influencer music.
It looks like he's about to sign for Scunthorpe at this point.
It's a Charlie's office.
I thought I'd bring Henry, our little hero here.
Our little hero?
Official
He's
sponsor.
walking to
It's
Ibiza.
John and
Sir,
Love that.
bro, it's a massive thing you're doing, man.
No, it's not.
Or is it like 60 odd days?
Yeah, 60, 65 days, over 40k a day, non-stop.
So what made you wake up one morning and think, you know what, I'm going to walk to Ibiza?
You know, I get asked quite a lot. I want to do something that bigger down in history books, you know what I mean? Something I'm going to be remembered for. But drop away in that DM. Like, I remember stocking a vodka and savoury shows and now.
That's mad, bro. That is mad.
100% I did it.
See you lot at the Kickstarter.
And you're doing it for such a good cause as well, man. Incredible
Very
cause.
Tony Hudgel Foundation. I'm
Wait.
sure you've seen it on Instagram, but it's a great charity.
Wait,
Everybody
it's
on
on
the
next
talks
door.
about walking to the jokes of it. There's so many memes about it. And now, all of a sudden, it could potentially become a reality, and it is doing that. That's what we're doing that. It's, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm doing the first day.
You're doing the first day?
And the last one.
Absolutely. Wayne needs
Hey, do you know what?
The glory days.
The glory days. I'd love to say I'm going to get involved and come and walk, but it's not for me.
Fucking him off. I'm not going to fucking do it with you.
Pleasure, bro. Pleasure. Good luck, everybody.
What was that?
I'm there supporting all the way.
What the fuck was that?
So this bit of
What-
branding... Go on.
What have they just done? So Wayne picked him up in his sports car. And by the way, I know the kid's 21. If my son has got some creepy cunt like that turning up in a sports car,
we should talk
he's
about
not
that.
getting in the car.
We
He's
should
not
talk
getting in
about
the car. Then it's like they drive to like the mafia boss Charlie Sloth. And let's remember what Charlie Sloth is. He's a sacked Radio 1 Extra DJ.
Yeah.
He left Radio 1 Extra, went to like Beats FM or some shit like that. Now he's just some vodka salesman. And he's got, yeah, and he's got some weird office on what seems like an industrial estate. In the middle of fucking nowhere. It looks like the office looks like it's been designed by kids who make Need for Speed cars. It's got like weird yellow fucking lighters on. He sits there like a fat cat with that insane beard and the dyed hair and the fake
beard.
tan.
Oh, man.
And they sit there going, right, you two. And the most mental bit of that video is when like the kid, Gen Z are so fucked. Like, I just want to do something that's going to go down in history. Why would this go down in history? You don't need to go down in history. You're a normal fucking kid. Just go and plaster some walls.
He seems
save
like a
up your
lovely
money.
lad as well. He seems like a quite a genuine lad, and there's later videos where it's like he's like quite a sweet and naive kid, And
Naive's the word. He's a fucking idiot.
I just worry because it's like, if you're his dad or his mum, you go, all right, Henry, where are you off to? And he goes, oh, I'm just off out. I'm going to the industrial estate. You're going to the industrial estate? Who's taking you there? Wayne Lineker.
You're not getting in the car.
No way.
You're not getting in the car.
What?
Mum and Dad, nice to meet you. It's my Lamborghini outside on finance.
I need to take your son to go meet a vodka salesman.
Pop your little fella in the car. I'm going to take him down the industrial
He
estate.
calls him at one point, he calls him my little hero.
It's like he's survived cancer or something, the way they're talking about. And then there's a bit where, you know, they're obviously in this room that's branded with this insane vodka brand. And Charlie Sloth, fat prick, his thought with this is like, well, look, this kid might go viral, attach the vodka brand, we'll sell some vodka.
Yeah.
And at one point, the kid's just like, we've said this so many people, he's desperate for an arc. He's like Chris Moltisanti.
Yeah.
He's very Chrissy,
Yeah.
isn't he? And he is very Chrissy, this boy. And he's,
Where's my arc, Tony?
I don't have no arc, Adriana.
He's trying to build his arc, and he's like, you know, I went from stacking your vodka on the shelves of Sainsbury's to this, and Charlie Sloth turns around like, wow, that's mad, isn't it? It's like, no, it's not. Why is that mad? What's mad? What, that he went from stacking the shelves at Sainsbury's to
Wow.
walking to Ibiza?
It's bare mad that I'm exploiting you so hard, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Bruv, you're walking there. Nah, but you're doing it for a proper good cause.
Will I
innit?
come? And literally at one point he goes like, nah, I can't do a shift with you. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, he's like, I'd love to come walk with you, but I can't do that.
I would love to come with you, but that's a fucking shit idea and you're a dickhead. Shut up.
Oh, it's just so horrible.
It's very bleak.
And it just goes to show that any young lad, any poor boy, you're one dangerous slip in the social media game away.
You're
from
one
being,
DM to Wayne Lineker
from
away.
being in an industrial state with these people. With the like they are the gutter.
And what I want to say is, and this will lead us into the next video, it's very, like I said, I think him personally, the endeavour I find not great, but he is raising money.
He's raising money for charity.
He's raising money for charity.
I think you know it's a bit fame hungry and it's clearly for exposure, but fair enough. You're gonna make.
No, I don't mind it, and he's a nice lad. But I mean the kind of Charlie Sloth and Wayne bit. Obviously, maybe they would say, well, we're paying for him to do it so he can raise money for charity, blah blah blah. But what I do really have the sense of, and we'll see this in the next video, which is 4 days into the mission, is that obviously now he's committed to doing it,
Yeah.
and Wayne and Charlie have put some money behind it.
Well-
Were he to say, oh, actually, I don't want to do this anymore, they'd be like, you fucking get out there, you fucking walk. Do you know what I mean?
There's something with this boy. There's something slightly Bevo-esque with him.
Yeah,
the desperation, the naivety, the youth, and it's funny you mentioned Andrew Kerr earlier.
Right.
I've been chatting to him about Bevo actually. I've been saying with Bevo like, what kind of frightens me with Bevo is all the people he interacts with, because Bevo's doing like a sort of world tour of talking to any other influencer.
I'm worried about Bevo.
I am. I don't think anyone has got Bevo's interests at heart.
No.
Between the
Least of all
OnlyFans
Bevo
girl,
himself.
No, between the OnlyFans girl that he's going out with,
Oh,
between
is
the
he?
fucking
Yeah.
idiots that he's been interviewed by, between the people he makes content with, you can tell by the way they look at him, they all cannot fucking stand him.
Right.
And if he ends up in the gutter, no one will help him.
No.
And that's how I think Charlie and Wayne Lineker feel about this poor boy.
And we'll see. So, like, he's committed to doing it. He's doing it. And, like, to be fair, it's a fucking hard thing to do. And he's walking a marathon every day. But, like I say, I wonder how much he does want to do it. And we won't watch all of this, it's quite long. But this is him 4 days in.
Day 4, walking to Ibiza.
He's on a dual carriageway.
It's on a dual carriageway near Macclesfield. At this point, his mum can come and pick him up at any time.
For a marathon. I'll let you know how it goes.
Sad music in the back.
Sad
What
mu-
the fuck is going on? About 2k in, day 4.
2K.
Just mentioned I'm doing a marathon. Hey, it ain't going well.
It's pissing down, obviously. Just in a Morrison.
Walking
What?
around like retail park.
Into today. Feels so good. Not easy, guys. But I'm pushing on.
It's like Wayne's behind him with a
Doing it
cattle
for a very
prod.
good cause.
Keep fucking going.
You know, when I think about it, I'm raising money for what I'm raising money for. Tony and Jail Foundation can save so many kids suffering the way Tony did.
Someone needs to save you.
Good feeling. Just pushes you on that bit extra. Second lad to pull up. Come on, lad. Let's fucking have it. Let's fucking get there, boy. Come on. Come on.
And then he drives off.
I think at this point,
Pepperoni bars from these ages.
shitting it down again. Look.
There's so much hailstone.
I just hurt so much.
Day 4.
Oh my!
This is 4 days in. So like, I just find this so.
Ow, it hurts. Keep fucking going, boy. Mention the vodka brand.
4
Mention the vodka
days,
brand.
4 days in. What I find so funny about this is that, like, at this point, because he's doing about 20 kilometers a day, his mum could come and pick him up in like 45 minutes. The mental strength, to be fair to him, the mental strength he must take just to not just be like, oh. he could, wherever he probably is, he could get the train home in like 20 minutes.
He's like 2 towns down. Ow, it hurts. Wayne behind him with the cattle point.
Mention the vodka brand again. Mention your vodka. Tell him Charlie's doing a deal.
And it's like you're walking in the pissing rain. Your knees are fucking killing you because you've done 4 marathons in 4 days. And then periodically, blokes in coursers pull up and go, "Go on, lad, you can fucking do it!" And then like skid away.
Yeah, what it should be. Like, I love that so much. Any interaction like that where the person should feel honoured to be captured in your journey and actually they don't really care. I love that. So, like, what should happen is that he stops quickly and the fan's like, it's you. Nice one, make it good. He's like, I've got to keep going. I'll see you later. That's what should happen. What clearly happens is he stops like, oh my God, someone stopped. He's like, hey, man.
Wait
The
there.
guy's like, yeah, sweet. Anyway, I've got to go. See you later.
It hurts.
Ow.
But he's braved it, right? He's braved it. We're not going to watch all of the next one. It's too long. It's like 2 minutes, 28 seconds long. But he's braved it. And the next one, not only is he much further along, but I think he's got a special guest in this one as well.
Day 33, I'm walking from Manchester to Ibiza. So yesterday, I was joined by Big John. He's gone home tonight, and I'm joined by his cousin, Grande Jean.
He's in France.
He's in France by this point, yeah. Grande Jean. Big John is there with him for some
Random
reason.
building. I'm not sure if it's a gym or not, so we're just trying to navigate our way around. We've snuck into the gym.
And again, it's like the sad
It's
music.
Johnny Fisher.
training with Johnny Fisher. So Johnny's doing a bit of training. So
I don't know how the French have got one of the biggest economies in the world. They're always shut.
John's figuring out some of my struggles now. Everywhere's shut. Trying to get some lunch. He's a hungry man.
they're just walking around like a couple of old ladies.
This is just what I needed.
Copy. Big John's
I just did a Ye-Bosh, a massive one. Henry didn't catch it on film. Johnny's got up and walked out because he's very embarrassed. I'm going to get him when he comes back. So watch this space. Johnny.
So he's just knocking about in this French town with the fishers for some reason. And like, they have the most boring day ever. They've had like a kind of mid-lunch. Big John's doing Ye-Boshes. Now they're just wandering around like hotel complexes.
in the rain.
Just got out the pool. Well, it's cold actually, the pool. We're waiting to go back out, but the weather is just shocking.
He's just sat there on the
sat
Big
here
John.
John's on his phone.
Right, ending a great day. With
Ending a
Indian,
great
we could
day?
do Chinese, but we've
Look,
sacked
listen to
that
this.
off. Going for an Indian instead. I've actually fancied one for weeks now, to be honest. So
It's like,
I'm
one
happy,
of my mum's
John
mates.
suggested it.
Oh, I fancied it for weeks, me.
What a nice end to night. Just appreciating what we have in life. Look at this fountain. Look how beautiful the sunset is. Can we just appreciate the view?
Get a move on, mate. You should be walking to fucking
Fucking
Ibiza.
walking, you can't.
Look how beautiful that is.
Wayne's not going to be happy.
Get back on the road, son.
And again, it's like the sad, like Hub's Life music.
Get away from the fishes. They're always slow you down.
They're eating again. They're having another takeaway. I think that'll do with that.
No, that's enough.
But like, it's just crazy, and I don't really understand like the momentum of the hardest geezer is every day he's running, every day he's doing something.
Yeah.
This has just stopped in the middle. He's like, yeah, I'm having a bit of lunch. So, get a move on. What are you doing?
He's basically interrailing. He's basically got interrailing with Big John. It's fucking lit up. Big John's just pottering around some fucking French town for some reason.
Ye-boshing everywhere.
Find a gym for your son to do some skipping. And then if there's an influencer passing through, just do a day with them. Have a steak, have a bit of dinner.
Yeah.
I mean, what I keep thinking with this. Imagine you're this kid's parents, right? And imagine you don't really know anything about social media. Well,
Right.
they probably don't. Like, what is he, 21? His parents probably like late 40s, 50s.
21,
something
yeah.
like
His parents could be
that.
like
They might
45,
even
yeah.
be 60, who knows, right? And like, imagine it, like a few months ago, he was like, Mum and Dad, you couldn't lend us 200 quid to go to Ibiza, could you? And you go, no, fuck off, you know,
Yeah,
you got
no.
a job, do it yourself.
You're a plasterer.
Yeah, and then 2 months later, he's just bopping around with these middle-aged men.
Yeah, why are they always middle-aged men?
You'd be like, where are you today, son? I remember that. So when I was around that age, I did a similar kind of like runaway thing. I was younger than that, to be fair. I was 18.
Does have runaway vibes.
Yeah, well, you do. You run away. When you're that age, that's what you do. You run away.
Yeah.
It's when you're from Macclesfield, when you're from Stevenage, when you're a small town kid who education isn't the vehicle that's going to take you to the later parts of your life, you run away.
Yeah.
That's what you do. You join the circus. You do all sorts of fucking shit.
Start a podcast.
For me, it was doing seasons in Fallaraki.
Right.
Party Island. I went and did 2 seasons there, and my parents were so nervous
about you going.
Yeah, they were like calling me every fucking day because I was 18. I was their kid.
Yeah.
And they were like,
but you feel old, don't you? Feel like you got everything figured out.
You think you're an adult when you're not. And I remember my mate Malcolm, his mum's Malaysian, and I don't think him and his mum spoke much, and he didn't tell her that he was coming. He didn't really tell her what he was doing or where he was going.
Really?
And my mum, I mean, Malcolm's actually born on the same day as me, so I think the last time my mum had seen Malcolm's mum was in the maternity ward, where we'd both been born in Stevenage Hospital. But I remember my mum calling me one day. My mum was like really panicked. She was like, Jacob! I was like, yeah. She was like, where's Malcolm? I was like, he sat next to me. What's going on? What's the matter? I was like, yeah, in Fallaraki. She was like, his mum's here. I was like, oh, right. And Malcolm could hear it and he went, oh, for fuck's sake. What? And she was like, she was like, he hasn't told his mum where he's gone. And Malcolm was like, I'm here, I'm not doing anything. But it's like, our parents were nervous and we were going somewhere, we had jobs, we had hotels, that we'd been there before.
Yeah.
If my fucking boy was trekking around Europe with these middle-aged men, Charlie Sloth, Wayne Lineker and Big John, I'd been reading about this P. Diddy case on the internet and I'd be like, I don't think I'm fucking happy about this.
I'd rather my son was doing county lines than doing that.
Exactly. I'm like, who the fuck are these blokes? What do they want with my boy? Get them away from them. What the fuck is some heavyweight boxer doing chasing my boy around the gym? Oh, we're just so grateful. Fuck off. Go home.
Go away for 2 weeks with your normal mates.
Go on holiday with your parents.
Yeah.
If you need a fucking holiday so much.
Go to Cornwall.
God,
but this is the thing,
sake.
and this next video kind of illustrates it. I think this lad, and this is why it's so weird, because like he's desperate for the sesh, but he's quite an old soul. He's quite like an old.
Well, I mean, this is 40 days into the walk. He might be an older soul than he was before the hail.
It hurts so much.
Well, I know what you mean though. Even in the last video, it's like, oh, the sunset's just so beautiful, just so grateful for everything we got. Oh, the weather, God, he's just been fancying Indian for weeks. It's like he's speaking like some menopausal old dear who's got a few days off. Oh, the weather's not great, but me and John are gonna have an Indian instead of a Chinese. We've fancied that for a while.
The thing that he's really enjoying is having a mooch around a French countryside town.
Yeah, I know. You feel like saying you didn't need.
You don't want to go to Ibiza.
You want to go to like you want to go to like the nicer bit of Mallorca.
You want to go to Normandy.
Yeah, you want to go to Bordeaux.
I've been fancying India for weeks, mate.
God, I don't usually drink Merlot, but when you have it where it's from, it's just beautiful.
Is there a Carrefour near here? I'd love to go to a Carrefour.
God, oh, I tell you what, I don't really eat cheese in England, but I tell you what, when you get a bit of blue out here, it's very tasty. Ooh.
And this is why I
the
like
bread's so fresh.
It's so fresh, you can't replicate that. This is why I like him, because he is a bit of an old soul. And so this one, he's still in France, and the way he's being treated is kind of moving, but also slightly odd. This is him getting kind of help from a local couple.
Day 38 of walking from Manchester to Ibiza. No messing around on the food.
So this is, here's me
Continental
breakfast.
breakfast and a cup of tea.
38, my legs are done in, my feet are in a lot of pain, to be honest. I'm actually using the pivot of my feet. I'm not standing flat on them because there's that much pain from yesterday.
The Ernest says they're in a lot of pain, to be honest.
So, just lost full connection. My map has gone off my phone, so I don't
He's
know
just
where I'm
been
going.
following a Google
Remember,
map
if in doubt,
5
head
weeks.
south, get the compass up, just keep going south.
So there's a picture of him with the couple.
That lady in that photo you've just seen was watching my TikTok live. There's over 3,000 people in there, and she basically said, I live down the road from you, Henry. I'm going to come and drop some food off for you.
Right.
Drop me a bottle of water.
Now let me make a
and
correction. She was not watching.
What a
That
legend,
middle-aged
thank
French
you so
woman was
much.
not watching your TikTok
No,
live.
no.
Someone's
Loudly.
alerted her to a lost
Hey,
boy,
bro.
and she tried to feed you.
Can't think. I shouldn't really be
Oh, this is
stopping at
it.
McDonald's.
So he's stopping for a McDonald's.
But I also shouldn't be walking to Ibiza. Quick chicken burger.
Barbecue sauce on the chicken burger. Hands are
Daft
shaking.
as it may sound, it's quite emotional that eating a Mackey's. Reminds me of home. especially the barbecue sauce, as stupid as it sounds. Just like a go-to food, isn't it? McDonald's and yeah. It's getting really, really windy. I feel like there's a massive storm on the way.
He's crying
Looks like
over
I'm going to be up and down hills for the next few hours. Just been raining for...
Now, in that, again, beautiful, like, slightly old lady, like, oh, daft as it sounds, I just feel a bit emotional after that Mackey's. And, like, just such an unbelievable vibe. And the other thing that struck me as well is, like you say, a French lady has been alerted to a lost child in her village.
Yeah, and
has
she's
brought
fed him.
brought
And
him
also,
some-
he sort of puts up a selfie of him with the woman and her husband. The look on her husband's face isn't, we've just found our favourite TikToker. It is like, I'm genuinely concerned about the well-being of this child.
Is this picture going to be used in a court case? Yeah. But also, like, I mean, I don't know those people specifically, so, like, fair play to those people that gave him food.
Well
That's
done,
a lovely
yeah.
thing to do.
Well done for
So
feeding him.
I'm not talking, yeah, he's fucking walking 60 miles a day and eating Mackies like a fucking 12-year-old. I don't know them specifically, so I'm not saying this about them. Do you not think it's kind of funny that, like, there's probably homeless people in their village? And it's like, They wouldn't look twice at the bloke.
Stepping over the
They wouldn't
beggars
look-
to
yeah.
get to the TikTok.
to get to the TikTok and walking to Ibiza.
Oh my god!
It's just a funny thing about human kind of endeavour, isn't it? Of just like they just like, oh, here's this little English boy. We should give him some cheese. And it's
Yeah.
like there's the drunk who sit at the carrefour again.
Yeah,
I will
this-
not look at him.
It's like when Russ Hardest Geezers, you know, who did all these like branded deals with like, you know, like there was like, we're going to bring Russ the Tesco meal deal that he's been missing.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
you know, I know that in Africa isn't the kind of like poverty, like Africa's a continent. It's
Yeah,
huge.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
plenty
yeah.
of people in Africa who are fine.
Right.
But I did always think, I was like, you know, when Huel send him like a large delivery of food, do they have to like deliberately try and avoid the towns where people really need food to try and get it
It's
to
just
Russ?
like After
I mean, I had
driving past millions of people. Yeah, like you say, it's a huge place and there's many affluent areas. But he was talking a lot about the people around him being in poverty, and he had a falling out with one of the people on the trip because one of his mates kept buying loads of beer and fags in every town they went into. And it's like you can't just turn up in these towns and buy a load of beer and fags. Anyway, sorry.
But but then the emotion to the McDonald's. I actually, do you know, I had really, really similar things to that. So as I mentioned, I did 2 seasons abroad when I was 18 and 19 in Faliraki.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know whether I've touched upon the topic much on the podcast. I did a whole fucking stand-up show about it years ago. But basically, me and my best mate, Big Dave, went on a lad's holiday. He fell in love with a Greek waitress. I fell in love with a Slovakian hotel worker.
Yeah.
And as soon as we got back home, we were like, fuck it, we're going back. We
again.
won a poker game at our local pub, used the money to buy flights, flew straight back with no flight back, no job.
How that's never been optioned as a sitcom is, I mean, well, I
No,
guess it kind of
was
has,
actually,
yeah.
I mean, that's a whole different story,
Yeah.
how that nearly became a sitcom. Anyway, so we flew back to Faliraki and we ended up working 2 seasons there. And it started that we were working in bars, and then we went to one of the more popular bars one night. They'd had a house band at this bar. They'd left a guitar behind. I was drunk and just started playing guitar and fucking around singing and stuff. And the guy who owned the bar was like, you are now the band. You be my band. This guy called George. He was like this fucking orangutan of a man. Anyway, so we flew out a few other lads who could play instruments, and then we were the house band for 2 summers in a row. And my as I say, my parents, the first time around, they were like terrified. You know, me and Big Dave being fucking led along by these girls, and we really were being led along. I mean, that's a story in itself. But then we went back the next summer, and it was a slightly more official thing. It was like, I was like, oh yeah, and you know, Jacob's been there before.
Right.
It's the same people he worked for before. When we went out there, we were living in squalor.
Really?
Like, so he was like, George was like, we give you accommodation. The accommodation was basically a garage. It was like there was no, where it was all underground, there was no windows. There was just one door. There were 5 beds, and there was just a bathroom.
no.
That was it. And we, you know, there were 5 beds. We had about 10 of us in there. People sleeping on sofas. We'd always have girls back. There was just cigarettes and beer. It was fucking rank. And we were earning €15 a day,
Right.
but we had free alcohol.
Oh my God.
Now, the way we'd always divvy that up is the €15 could, obviously we'd drink for free in the bar we worked
Yeah.
at, but then we'd always go out to clubs later.
Right.
We'd get into most clubs for free. We'd get free alcohol at a lot of them, but you'd always say to yourself, right, that's 1 drink.
Yeah.
Or like a 2-for-1 drink for €6.
Yeah, yeah.
And then that's 1 bit of food.
That was it.
That was it. And what my parents did,
Then back to the garage.
and then back to the garage, and I mean the garage. I mean, I'll tell one quick story from the garage. Basically, Malcolm, who I mentioned earlier, he would bring back this girl every night called Tori. And basically, we all had like air conditioning poisoning. Where we'd have the aircon on. It was Big Dave would put it on 16 every night.
Oh, it's so much.
We were all just coughing our lungs out.
Yeah.
And basically, there's like fucking 10 of us, and Malcolm would bring this girl back every night, and you'd hear them kissing for 20 minutes, then you'd hear them doing other stuff for 20 minutes, and then this poor girl would go into our toilet and just cough her lungs up for 20 minutes because we had our aircon on 16 degrees. And my mate Ollie, who is, I love him to bits, Ollie, he's still one of my best friends to this day, but he's a little bit spectrum. We were all laying there getting pissed off by this night after night. One night, Ollie stood up, grabbed a pint glass and just threw it against the wall and was like, I've had a fucking enough. So that's how we were living. And my parents, what they wanted to come visit, but they couldn't get time off work at the same time. So my mum came with my sister. They stayed in a hotel nearby, and they'd come and watch us play in the band at night. We'd have a drink in the day. It was really nice for my mum and my sister.
Right.
And like my sister got on with all the lads really well, and my mum. It was the weekend that Amy Winehouse died. They were there actually, randomly.
Very weird.
Anyway, then my dad came on his own. And my dad had been like looking forward to this for weeks, and he was like, "Oh yes, on my own." He was like, "I haven't had a holiday on my own in fucking years." And he said he was like, "I haven't." He was like, "I'm gonna have free will for the first time." He was like, "I've not been away from your mum or my boss in 20 years," and he hated it because he didn't know what to do. It was so funny. He got free will and didn't know what to do. He was so bored and like confused every day. He didn't know what to do. But the reason I'll bring it back to topic. Sorry, the emotion about the McDonald's. Opposite the bar we worked at, I remember there was this chicken shop called Texas Fried Chicken, right? Proper like rip-off KFC.
Yeah.
And they're like we would sometimes club together and we could afford a box of wings, but there was a Texas burger that was like €6 and none of us could ever afford it. And I remember I told my dad about this. He was like, "Sounds good," and he went and got one. And I remember being like, "Can I have one?" And he was like, "Yeah." He bought me like a €6 burger, and I cried.
Oh, God bless you.
Mate, I mean, I'll show you pictures.
Just emotions just running high.
It was emotions, but it was also like, we were so fucked. We had like proper, like we were so skinny from not eating, but we had little pot bellies from drinking every day. We were so unwell. But like we hadn't eaten properly. I remember I had to have like a 2-hour nap afterwards because my body hadn't taken on that amount of calories and so. But I remember sitting there and it was like, I was just crying. So I was just like, it's fried chicken. That's what I eat at home. And it's like, I'm with my dad. and me and my dad would get fried chicken. And it's just...
Food does connect you to those moments. And him being
but it's also like the pathetic state you get yourself into when you're that age, when you've gone abroad, when you're not prepared, you haven't got any money, and a burger can reduce you to fucking tears.
And there's a little bit, as there is with Henry Oscar Moore's, a little bit of like, I can't go home now. I can't give up.
You can't turn back. You can't turn back.
No, always go forward.
It's
those little, so like that's your in literature they have the thing of like the Proustian Madeleine. Have you heard of that thing? Like you take a bite of a Madeleine, it remembers you all of those things. So if you ever have a chicken burger, you remember crying with your old man in Faliraki.
My dad, and then watching this boy, he's going.
It's very and like I think that age, your emotions are so on the surface as well, aren't they? You're only ever 2 minutes away from crying.
Oh my God, you're so fucked.
Yeah.
I mean, it's when Gen Z have taken over TikTok, and when you see these like 19-year-old, 20-year-old lads being like, "Lads, it's okay not to be okay. It's all right to have emotions." It's like, well, yeah, at that age, because you're fucking mental. Like you're hormoned up to your eyeballs. You're so horny. Yeah. And like, you're fucking nuts. Of course you are. Most of us were emos at that age.
You're living in a garage.
It's like, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And it's a bit like, and bless him, like, my football brain kicks in and I'm like, you're not fully developed. You're a Charlie Patino. You're too slim. You're not built for the Premier League. And it's like, you shouldn't be doing this.
This is a lot. Yeah, this is a lot. And so the final one we're going to watch, and when this comes out, he may well have just about finished, I think. We're going to probably
I know we did. We timing it
roughly, and so they're the kind of glorious moment. Instead of
so we think we're going to make it? Yeah. You think he's going to make it?
Well, yeah, we hope so.
Also, where the fuck? Like, he's in such a state that some fucking poor French farmhand is like handing him out lunchboxes. I've exaggerated that a little bit. Where's Charlie Sloth?
The sponsorship doesn't cover food and it doesn't cover water.
Don't fucking call me. Don't call me. You want McDonald's, pay for yourself. Your internet goes down. That's on you. That's not on me. Okay.
Right, this last one we'll watch before we say goodbye. It kind of brings it full circle because he's in Barcelona. He's made it to Barcelona, so he's got obviously it's quite a way south still to go and a few ferries or whatever. But this is in Barcelona with a special guest.
8:49, walking from Manchester.
It's Uncle Wayne.
Come to Barcelona and enjoy Barcelona.
Morning after
out in Barcelona. Absolutely shattered.
He's just so tired.
Yeah, why?
Shattered,
What's he
I'm
done to you?
pain.
What did fucking Wayno do that made you so tired?
Just packing up in the hostel. I'll show you my little cell.
They left him in the hostel. I bet fucking Wayno wasn't in the hostel.
Yeah, Wayno's at the Four Seasons. They meet in the again like this kind of slightly footballerish vibe of like it's like arriving at an England camp. But it's
Me and
Wayne.
Tig walking down the strip. Look who it bumped into. Barcelona.
How much that?
So random seeing you.
Any random seeing you? I've arranged to do it.
Wayne has got an old man's walk now, but he's wearing the clothes of a 30-year-old.
What do you reckon to £60,000 raised?
Super happy with it, to be honest. Never expected such an amazing generosity from the public, and that it's well deserved for a well deserved cause. Tony Hudgell Foundation, get donating, guys, because my boy's nearly there.
Boy, I don't like.
Padron Pepe.
Again, look, he just wants to go to Barcelona for a long weekend, have a glass of wine.
Found the hostel tonight. 3 stars out of 10. £91 between three of us.
Yeah, I'm not staying with you.
Have a good time.
Just them shaking hands
so many
again.
times.
Manchester to Ibiza.
Safe, stay hopeful.
So the way that he's kind of publicising this desperation to be on the sesh is by having a succession of mini breaks across beautiful parts of Europe.
He's essentially done like an interrailing couples holiday with his videographer.
Yeah. Just had a lovely Padron Peppers with Wayne.
Thanks for watching the video. Thanks for all the donations. And thanks again to AU for making all this possible.
For making all this possible. He's sat in a shared hostel room that he's just said is 3 out of 10.
There's like the hardest geezer. I know we took the piss out of Russ, but like the hardest geezer, he's fucking eating sand for breakfast. He can barely move. He's being abducted. He's chased. He's being chased by fucking gangs. He's having his passport taken over. This guy's sitting and eating tapas at the Ramblers.
Oh my god, it's quite nice actually having a sangria.
Well, I think overall, Henry Oscar Moores, we salute you for your persistence. Raising money for charity is always a good cause.
Someone get him home. Just get him away from Wayne Lineker.
If any of you have been experiencing childhood exploitation, you can call a number on the screen now. If any of you are being followed by Wayne Lineker on Instagram, report him to the police immediately.
Any parents, if your son's going to industrial estates to meet Charlie
Sloth.
Yeah,
we can get you out of this life.
Yeah.
We can get you back into
That's
mainstream
it.
society.
We can start a charity to try and like unplug these poor kids.
The Screen Rock Foundation for Gen Z TikTokers doing challenges with Charlie Sloth.
We're going to find them meaningful work. We're going to find them fulfilling lives. We're going to find them a nice wife and a career they can enjoy. We're going to get these fucking influencer middle-aged men away from
We're going to
them.
send them on a weekend break to Bressançon. Oh, lovely. Right. We'll leave it there for this week. Thanks so much for listening. Hopefully Henry Oscar Moores makes it. And we'll see you in the next one.
Nice one, Reuters.
Ciao.